Ignition sequence starts. 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0. Liftoff. We have a liftoff.
Hey everybody, this is the Digital Asset Investor. I saw a couple of tweets that kind of put things in perspective that I wanted to show you before I got going with a couple of interesting news pieces that I saw today. The first is this tweet from Mark Yusko about how Bitcoin is 10 years old. And he's retweeting a tweet from a guy named Carlos Domingo. And I'll pull that up just to give you, and I guess Carlos Domingo was retweeting someone else's. This is the one I wanted to show you, which I'm pulling up now. Tech birthdays in 2019. It shows you how old all these companies are. There's IBM at 108 years old, 80 years old. But when you look at this and you see how old these companies are, just think about how much time passed before they were able to achieve some of the things they achieved. Like in my town now, we have Uber, and I think we just got Lyft, but it would be like when Walmart first moved to my town in Cleveland, Tennessee when I was younger. I remember when it moved into the town and nobody knew what that was, but they knew from that day forward and until today, it changed the world. Well, Lyft is just now showing up in my town at 7 years old. And to put that into perspective, Ripple is what, 5 or 6 years old now? There's a lot of interesting things that are about to happen, folks. But I thought this really puts in perspective where we are technology-wise, in digital assets, that is. Moving along, I wanted to show you this as well. This was another interesting tweet. Bitcoin's yearly lows from 2012 to 2018. Now, after you've been through an entire bear market and you've heard nothing but negative all year long, negative digital assets, it's going down, it's going to go to zero, it's failing, it's dead, Bitcoin's dead, all this is dead. Well, look at this chart. 2012, this is the yearly lows, $4. 2013, $65. 2014, $200. 2015, $185. 2016, $365. 17, $780. And 2018, the low was $3,200. Are you seeing a pattern here? I think you are. Let's move along. And if you did one for XRP, it would be the same type thing. CNBC, this is having to do with the stock market. This came out from CNBC today. Investors are officially panicking. Citigroup. This was from today, earlier today. And this is a composite that they've come up with. This is the panic line, this lower blue line, and this is the euphoria line, this upper blue line. Apparently, the investor sentiment just dipped into panic. I'm assuming that it dipped into panic. Let's see, yeah, today was the first day that the market dipped into panic based on this measure that they have, and this is from Citigroup. That's pretty interesting information. Okay, now here's what I want to start. It is amazing to see all of the positive. It was literally the second we flipped over into 2019, all of a sudden everybody's positive and all the sentiment's positive and all the articles are positive. I haven't read anything about dead digital assets or dead Bitcoin or dead this. I haven't heard anything about digital assets going to zero ever since we came into 2019. Almost like it's a coordinated, planned effort to create a bull market. I'm not saying that's what's going on. I'm just saying it almost feels that way. Well, now the SEC is bullish on the future of digital assets. I sure didn't read anything like that in 2018. I want to read a couple of lines out of this for you. In mid-2018, something extraordinary happened. ICO optimism faded due to rampant fraud and irregularities, and crypto funds and VC and digital asset marketplaces such as Bakkt and Fidelity took shape. The result is that the era of crypto buzz is coming to an end, but long live digital assets. In other words, they coined a new terminology And when that new terminology was coined, and I believe, in fact, I don't think I've ever told you this, but I believe that the word digital assets, I first heard Brad Garlinghouse use that terminology. I literally named my channel the Digital Asset Investor because I heard Brad Garlinghouse, he kept referring to them as digital assets, like they were wanting to get that word crypto and cryptocurrencies and push it aside. And I believe that words mean things. I believe digital assets that term was created for a reason. I believe that term was created to be traditional finance's word so that they could use that word and legitimize this whole space and take it out of the anarchy days of when Bitcoin first came along, and let this industry become Wall Street's industry. That's what I believe that digital assets represent. I called myself the digital asset investor because I heard Brad Garlinghouse saying that term, and he kept saying it. And I caught the signal that he was trying to change the wording and change that terminology. And that's why I called my channel that. That's the side note, but that reminded me of that. But here's another snippet from this article. Digital assets are a more regulated way of viewing altcoins, and how a true marketplace and decentralized app ecosystem will form for the long term. How digital assets are regulated by the SEC will usher in new opportunities and new winners and losers in blockchain. So SEC and Wall Street, now they're digital assets, and now they're going to have the blessing of the SEC and Wall Street, and they're going to show us how to really build a legitimate financial industry and a new asset class. That's what's going on. Okay, moving along. I told you in my last video, X-Men XRP, this guy is just on fire. He keeps sending me good information. So you send me good information, you're as important a part of the XRP community as anybody out there. And so if you send me good information, I like to cover good information, and so I'll feature you, and I'll tell people to follow you. So go follow at XRP33, because right now he's the man with the plan, sending me a lot of good information. Okay, this is what he sent me. The Blackmore Group CEO Philip Nunn says Ripple's XRP is a better bet than Bitcoin. And this article, more or less, he claims that Bitcoin is more decentralized, but he kind of, in my opinion, what he's saying kind of contradicts itself in a way. I agree with half of what he's saying. He is saying that XRP is a great bet for mainstream growth, but here he says, in its purest sense, BTC is definitely more decentralized than XRP Ripple. But the fact is, one country controls most of the Bitcoin supply and mining and could essentially wrap it all up. So in other words, he's saying that Bitcoin is more decentralized, but one country controls it. That's the exact opposite of the definition of decentralization, isn't it? But then he says, this is worrying. XRP for that reason is a great bet for mainstream growth. So I think he contradicted his own statement here, but in the end he got it right. He came to the correct conclusion, and that is that XRP, yes, XRP is more positioned for mainstream growth because it's actually more decentralized than Bitcoin. It's not controlled by one country. Control equals centralized, period. So I think that he needs to rewrite the tweet. I mean, he can't, like I said, he came to the right conclusion. The only thing he didn't write in here that he needed to is that XRP is the greatest digital asset ever created. But he has plenty of time to correct that. I like the guy. I've seen a lot of good tweets from him. Next, I wanted to show you this article that I saw Mr. Cool Daddy send out. And if you don't follow him, he's very active in the XRP community. At Eric Vale Naylor 2, okay? And he tweeted out this: 3 signs that Ripple's XRP is set to see massive growth in 2019. Again, more positive articles. It's just all of a sudden everything's positive. The 3 signs that they give is, first, that 2019, they said Brad Garlinghouse said that 2019 will be the year of adoption. There's higher interest from banks, and they're talking about how Garlinghouse has discussed this, that 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 banks are going to start going live, the ones that have regulatory certainty around the world. And then they referred to a recent survey. If they did a Twitter survey, XRP, I don't know that it's ever lost a survey when compared to other digital assets about what has the more potential upside. I'm the digital asset investor. I'm not an investment advisor. This is for entertainment purposes only. Please subscribe and hit the like button, and tell your friends and family that Ripple's XRP is going to see massive growth in 2019. Thank you for listening.